We gotta tackle Caedan Wallace out of Penn State, but is he the right fit for what the New England Patriots are looking for? We'll examine here on PatsCast. Welcome to PatsCast. I'm Brad Whitaker. The New England Patriots wait until the early portion of the third round to finally address the tackle position, and they select Penn State's Caedan Wallace, a guy who really spent his time playing right tackle. And we know the Patriots need a left tackle, and I was a little perplexed by the pick, but perhaps he was the best available at the position, and that's why the Patriots went with him. I think he's a really good player, perhaps a really great fit, but I think an issue is coming up here with Elliott Wolf and his willingness. We know he's going to trade back, but is he going to trade up, and is he going to make a quick decision to do that? And we heard about this on the Pat McAfee show when Sean Payton was talking with Bill Belichick late Thursday night, and he said, you know, some of these young GMs, they're very hesitant with a few seconds left on the clock to just pick up the phone and make a quick trade. And the Patriots had some tackles on the board that I think they could have inserted on the left side and potentially taken, and they didn't do it. Instead, they opted for Caedan Wallace. Maybe that's a guy they were eyeing all along, but guys like Brandon Coleman out of TCU, Kingsley from BYU, Rosengarten out of Washington. I know he was on the right side, but some of these guys could have started at left tackle, I feel like, right away, and the Patriots instead decided to stand pat early in the third round, and they get the next available tackle, probably the best available tackle, Caedan Wallace. And don't get me wrong, he's a really great player, and maybe he's better than all three of those guys I just mentioned, but like I said, the Patriots need a left tackle, and they got a guy who spent a lot of time at Penn State. He's a 4-year starter, basically, playing on the right side, and Mike Onwenu is going to be at right tackle. So, a bit perplexed by the decision, but again, I think this is a really good player, and that's perhaps why the Patriots went with him, and maybe they'll try to move him to the left side. But a lot of good things to say about this guy. Just because he doesn't insert easily on the left side of the offensive line doesn't mean this wasn't the right selection, so we'll see how it plays out. Some background on Caedan Wallace, a bit older. He's 24 years old. Like I said, he's been a 4-year starter at Penn State. Big guy, 6'5", 314 pounds. A lot of strengths. Doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, and he knows what he's doing. And I think this says more about what the Patriots are feeling, not at the left tackle position, but at the guard position, because if they want to start Caedan Wallace at guard, he could do it right away and fit in like a glove. And that might mean they don't have a lot of confidence in guys like Cole Strange or Sidy Sow. We don't know if Cole Strange is going to be healthy week one. We don't know how Sidy Sow's development is going. He showed some signs of life, but he's got a long way to go starting at that right guard spot. And maybe the Patriots are looking at it and saying, look, maybe we can spend some time developing Caedan Wallace to be a left tackle, knowing that Mike Onwenu is going to be our right tackle for years to come. And in the meantime, we can insert him at left guard or at right guard, and he's going to do a pretty damn good job at those positions. And then eventually, if he can develop into the left tackle role, learn from Okorafor, who's probably going to be the starter at this point, considering they didn't address left tackle earlier in the draft, then maybe you can move him to the left side. But like I said, not a great fit if you're looking for a solid left tackle week one in the NFL. But if you're looking for a week one starter, I think Caedan Wallace will be that guy. Great balance, great anchor ability, great in pass protection, coming from Draft Buzz, combining burst, patience, and excellent weight distribution. He maximizes his length to control defenders and pass sets, showcasing a refined technique that contributes to protecting the quarterback. Combo blocking proficiency. He efficiently navigates combo blocks, displaying good timing and body control to impact second-level defenders, enhancing the team's effectiveness. Highly athletic, very great at run blocking, going to be an ideal guy you want on the offensive line if you're running a wide zone scheme, which Patriots had trouble implementing when Matt Patricia was the de facto OC. They actually were a little bit better this past year. I know the offense wasn't great overall, but the zone run, particularly the inside zone run, was pretty decent, actually, with Bill O'Brien. It was one of the few strengths the Patriots had, and we know that it's going to be a wide zone scheme with Alex Van Pelt, considering they're now going to be running a West Coast offense. And that run blocking is going to come handy, and a guy like Caedan Wallace is really going to boost that offensive line. Certainly going to help them when they want to do play actions. They're going to be a run-first offense. We know that. And whether Drake Maye starting there, Jacoby Brissett, they're going to lean on the run game and then rely on the play action, rely on bootlegs, things we haven't seen in New England a lot over the years. Certainly while Tom Brady was there, Mac Jones couldn't run that worth a damn either. It's going to be a different offense, and he fits the mold very well. Good awareness, great adaptability. He recognizes and adapts to twists and blitzes well, maintaining optimal positioning and leverage. Also known to have a very high football IQ, an experienced college football player, not a lot of weaknesses, a guy that you're going to be able to rely on week one if you're going to put him at the guard spot. But again, I don't think he's going to be ready to start at left tackle. And that's what's hard here, because you have a guy, Mike Onwenu. I know he was a right guard in the past. I don't think you're kicking him back. He's training to be a full-time right tackle from now on. Did a great job at the position when he was finally moved over to the far right side this past season. I don't expect to see Caedan Wallace starting at right tackle for the New England Patriots unless Onwenu goes down, and then maybe you insert him there, and you can feel pretty confident about that. But they at least have some depth now at the offensive line. And whether you have Sidy Sow, Cole Strange, or Caedan Wallace, you at least know two out of those three guys you're probably going to be able to rely on. You have Onwenu, you have David Andrews. So really the only weakness there is a guy who is basically going to be a bridge at the left tackle spot. Maybe the Patriots are going to have to wait a year to really optimize that position. But Okorafor is probably going to be the starter for now. But maybe Caedan Wallace can learn under him and the Patriots can move him over there. But good player, long arms, 34 inches, big hands, almost 11 inches. Very explosive, had a 9'8" broad jump, pretty good for an offensive lineman there. Great physical traits. A guy who, as Bill Belichick said, none of these guys are NFL ready, but when you want a guy who's as close to NFL ready as possible, Caedan Wallace certainly fits that mold. Elliot Wolf, this coming out right now, says, we feel like Caedan has the athleticism to play over on the left side. Interesting. Olu Fashanu was the reason why he played on the right at Penn State. Olu Fashanu obviously drafted earlier in the 2024 NFL Draft. Taylor Kyle saying here, Caedan Wallace, a really impressive kid who comes from a great family and was someone they grew comfortable with. Also did a top 30 visit with the Patriots. Doug Kide adding here, Elliot Wolf said the Patriots could explore trading back into the third round. So I might make another podcast here. Depending on how the draft falls, as of this recording right now, it's going to take a few minutes to upload, but we're in the early to middle portion of the third round. So we may be making another one shortly after this if the Patriots trade back in. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, there aren't a lot of weaknesses with a guy like Caedan Wallace. Elliot Wolf just said, we think he can play on the left side. Wouldn't expect him to start there right away, but, maybe he starts at left guard, particularly if Cole Strange is not ready to go, or maybe Cole Strange is ready to go and you're not confident in Sidy Sow and you kick him over to right guard. I don't know how Strange would feel about that. He's been on the left side forever, but I don't know. We'll see how it works. But like I said, not a lot of weaknesses, but there are some listed here via Draft Buzz. Vulnerability to speed rushes. He tends to overcommit in pass protection against speed rushes, leaving him susceptible to inside moves. Decreased effectiveness post-contact after initial engagement. His narrowing base and rising pad level diminish his ability to sustain power, potentially limiting his impact. So, doesn't always do well with initial contact, especially from speed rushers. They can make inside moves, and he needs to get a little bit better at that. His footwork and pass sets can be inconsistent, particularly under pressure. Pad level and hand timing issue. Occasional lapses in pad level and hand timing mitigate his natural strength and leverage, reducing his effectiveness in certain blocking assignments. And last weakness listed here is susceptibility to quick defenders in space. He has shown susceptibility to quick defenders in space, occasionally being beaten to the spot on faster move blocks, indicating a need to improve his agility and reaction time in such scenarios. So NFL level, going to be a lot quicker, a lot faster. There's going to be a lot he needs to learn in terms of his development to be able to deal with initial contact, to be able to deal with those inside moves, to be a little bit more agile, whether he is playing at guard or he's at left tackle. But I don't know. I started this podcast. I wasn't super high on Caedan Wallace, but I'm kind of talking myself into it, especially since Elliot Wolf thinks he's a guy they can potentially move to the left side of the offensive line. Sounds like that's what the Patriots want to do. It's always tough, right? You know, we heard this with Rosengarten, the kid coming out of Washington. They obviously had a really good left tackle, so he played on the right side. We're wondering if the Patriots would address him and try to kick him over to left tackle. Obviously, he was taken late in the second round, so the Patriots didn't have an opportunity there. You also had Brandon Coleman, who's probably going to be a guard, even though he played tackle in college. He was selected just before the Patriots. Who knows if that's who the Patriots wanted. Kingsley out of BYU. I thought he was really an ideal fit. I probably think the Patriots would have selected him if he were available at that spot. I was really hoping the Patriots would make the move and trade up for him. But look, Caedan Wallace, if you think he can play left tackle, then he may be better than all those guys. Certainly, at the right tackle position, he probably is. As a position player, I would draft him maybe ahead of all those guys because he is seasoned, he has experience, he has all the traits, good pass blocker, great run blocker, going to fit well into that West Coast offense. It's just a matter of, can the Patriots develop him into a solid left tackle? And if that's going to take some time, are you going to use him at the guard spot? Especially if a guy like Sidy Sow isn't ready or Cole Strange isn't healthy. Feel a little more comfortable if he's playing left guard than right guard. Or rather, right guard than left guard because he's been on the right side. So maybe he's a replacement for Sidy Sow, and Sow just adds some depth to the offensive line. But we'll see if the Patriots double dip here at the tackle spot. As of right now, I'm not sure if he's been taking. I'm checking. Yeah, okay, never mind. Amagaji out of Yale was just taken by the Chicago Bears, so he won't be available in the fourth round. So maybe the Patriots can try to take a developmental tackle later, but as of right now, this seems to be the offensive line. You got Okorafor and Caedan Wallace. One of those guys probably starting at left tackle. We'll see if Wallace is ready there. Cole Strange at left guard. David Andrews at center. Caedan Wallace or Sidy Sow at right guard. And then, of course, Mike Onwenu, perhaps a Pro Bowl level right tackle. We know he's a Pro Bowl level, all pro level right guard, but we'll see now that he's going to be a full-time tackle if he can become just as good as he was at the right guard position. Certainly showed it a little bit this past season, but hey, we got an O-line here now. Drake Maye's got some stuff to work with. Jalen Polk, just talked about him in the last podcast about an hour ago. Is he a number one guy? From everything I've heard, probably not, but he is perhaps an outside boundary guy, a 50-50 ball guy that Devontae Parker, they thought could be that guy. N'Keal Harry, they thought could be that guy. Hopefully, they finally nail that outside boundary threat. More of a Z than an X, Jalen Polk, but he's a good receiver. So, you got some weapons now. You added some depth to the receiving core. You added some depth to the offensive line. Neither of these guys are guys that really totally stand out, but these are clearly Elliott Wolf guys, and the Patriots are trying to add reinforcements there. We'll see how it plays out. We'll be back with more Pats Cast either later tonight if the Patriots do trade back late into the third round, and we'll certainly be back tomorrow. Patriots have 2 early fourth-round picks as of this recording. If they trade back into the third round, maybe they deal both those away. We'll see. We'll be here at Pats Cast Covered. Do not miss out.
In the streets of Foxborough, the fans have gathered round, talking about the draft.